So it's like really odd that people think that, like, in my opinion, really odd to think I think they see how great of a pass rusher Micah Parsons is and like how impactful and how consistently dominant he is in that facet. And then you see the run defense where he's not up to that par and they say, oh, he's a bad run defender. Then that coincides with the Cowboys being really poor against the run in recent years. And he's the most popular guy. He's the best player on the defense. So it's easy to blame him for the run defense woes. But I think that's really misinformed. I think he actually does a really good job against the run. And the quote unquote issues he had against the run are things that we praised DeMarcus Lawrence with consistently toward the end of his career, but he was just more effective in those situations because he had more experience. So, like, for example, there's a thing that when you see people talk about Micah Parsons, this is something that is brought up a lot, is the fact that when he's a C gap defender, meaning he's playing the gap in between the tackle and the tight end, sometimes, when they run those outside zone plays, he'll dart to the B gap to try to get vertical and try to create disruption in the backfield. And, if you mistime it or say you get caught up a little bit, that gives up that edge runway for the running back. And that's something that DeMarcus Lawrence, so like I would even say like as much as like 30 to 40% of his tackles for loss or run stops in the backfield were as a result of doing that backdooring that B gap move. But when Micah Parsons does it, and he's a little bit younger, so he's not quite as consistently successful in those situations, they really harp on those. But when you take those out, I think he does a really good job of setting the edge. He sets the edge strong, and he's not the biggest guy. He's only weighing 245. Maybe he'll get up to 250 if at the beginning of a season before, the whole season brings down his weight. So I think he does a really good job there. He plays his gap really well. He doesn't get widened. He doesn't get smashed in. He fights through chip blocks really well, all of those type of things. And I just think people really harp on those really specific situations that only happen maybe once, maybe twice a game.